Good afternoon. Welcome to this video media session with Austin FC head coach Josh Wolff on what is another historic day in a multitude of historic days for Austin FC. Today we have announced our very first match and also our very first home game. So we will be playing LAFC away at Banc of California Stadium on Saturday, the 17th of April, a game that will kick off at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's live on Fox and on Fox Deportes. And we have announced that our very first home game at Q2 Stadium is going to be on Saturday, June the 19th at 8 p.m. Central. That is going to be broadcast on Unimas, on TUDN, and regionally broadcast as well. So I'm very, very pleased to have Josh Wolff here with us again to give his reaction to this news. Josh, just before we put it to the floor, it's all happening. Yesterday we were talking about training. Today we're talking about the very first ever Austin FC match, both away and at home. It must be an emotional day for you and for the players. What does it mean to you personally to have this news confirmed?
I think it validates where we're at. We're on the field with the players, and now we have a schedule starting to come out and piecing together some of our opponents and what the beginning of the year is going to look like. We've mapped out preseason, and now we have a nice target date, April 17th in LA against one of the premier clubs in the league, and it's a great opening game for us. I'm sure our fans are going to be excited. I know our players are excited, and I'm certainly excited by the news, and we look forward to it. It's going to obviously provide a nice test for us, but we're excited by it.
That's fantastic. Thank you. We're going to open it up to the floor now. As I said, if you want to ask a question, please use the raise your hand function. You'll find it in reactions. We have a couple of hands raised at the moment, but we'll start with Chris Bills. Chris from The Striker, over to you.
Yeah, Josh, I know you came into the league under Bob Bradley, and to get to play your first game as a head coach, against a guy you know so well. Just talk about your relationship and what that'll be like for you.
It'll be great. I have the utmost respect for Bob Bradley, and as you said, he was my first professional coach, and that was an environment, that was a team, that was a coach that gave me great guidance, certainly gave me lasting memories and lasting impressions of what the game is about, what team is about. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice to compete against him. Again, for me, one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in U.S. history. And, I think they play a very good way, and they're a great model for what teams can come in and be like in this, if you commit to that. And they play good soccer, they commit to it off the field as well. And that's something I think we look at as a measurement for us as well. We come in and built our team in a similar way. We want to play a certain style and have a good identity. And it starts with the leadership, with your staff, your coaches, your sporting director. And again, I think it'll be an exciting challenge, and I certainly look forward to it for our players and our fans.
How are you? Nice
Good.
to see you again.
Good, you too.
What a long time. Josh, just a couple of questions. What do you know about the roster of LAFC players like Carlos Vela, like Daniel Musovski, like Diego Rossi, Latin Blessing, but other youngest players like Christian Torres, like Opoku Mahala, I don't know, the Mexican player like Pablo Cisniega. What do you know about the roster of LAFC and how to face a team like LAFC on the Banc of California Stadium?
Yeah, I think it's a very balanced roster. There's a lot of high quality players. There's a lot of youth. They've done a great job bringing in young talent and developing them. And again, I think it starts with the way that they want to build their club and the identity that they wanted to establish. And over the course of 3 years, I think certainly their ambition and their achievements speak for themselves. So we look forward to that. They're a good team, and I expect them to be one of the best teams in the league this year. So it's a great first test for us to go on the road and play in that stadium against a very good team. And we'll certainly be prepared. We'll certainly scout, but in the meantime, we'll continue to develop who we are and the way we want to play, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready to play that game.
Sorry, Tom. Just a question. How dangerous can be the couple of Carlos Vela and Diego Rossi?
Yeah, I think they've shown in the last few years they're two of the most prolific players in the league, and in and around goal, the most talented, very creative, both scoring goals and creating goals. So we like to think we have players on our team as well that will provide that element and certainly that quality. So we'll piece together what our team looks like, and certainly have an idea of what we want to do against LAFC. We want to give them as many problems as they try to give us. So we look forward to it. It'll be a challenge in a lot of ways, but it'll also be quite exciting.
That's great. Thank you, Josh. Moving on, KXAN Sports. The floor is yours.
There you go. Hey, Josh. First question. What are the emotions? You kind of touched on how emotional it is. It gives you a target date. You know what you're working toward now. But, I mean, the first match in this franchise's history, so many first day of training camp just on Monday. Do these firsts ever get overwhelming, or are you tired of first and you just want to get on with it? And what are the emotions of just knowing what is coming now?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it's going to be a year of first, and that was one of the first things we talked about with the team. And you're part of the first Austin FC team. It's a great responsibility. It's a great opportunity, and every one of these firsts has big meaning. And that's our first game ever as a club, and it's against a very good team in a very nice stadium. And I think the players will be quite familiar with that group. And for us, it's about understanding who we are and what that game's going to look like and how we're going to come into it and obviously compete on the day. And you talk about first goals, you talk about first wins, and we'll talk about that as a group. But those opportunities are going to be there, from the get-go. And going on the road to try to get our first points is exactly what we're going to try to do.
And also, we knew that it was going to be a while before you got to play your first home match because you're an expansion team and finishing up the stadium and everything. But what are some of the challenges of playing 2 months of road matches before you get to be comfortable at home in your home stadium and all that comes with that?
Yeah, I think we all look forward to coming home to Q2 Stadium. Our fans are ready. The support has been tremendous, and when that time is obviously in June 19th, that'll be our first game. And in the meantime, we know what it's going to look like. We're going to be on the road a good bit at the beginning of the year. Where our training center will be ready, so our preparation will be pretty consistent once we get into our training center at the end of this month, and we'll prepare every week. It's going to be a challenge, but that's whether you're playing at home or away. So we'll talk a little bit about that as a group. But going on the road, we expect to go and compete, get points, and still maintain the way that we want to play, and we'll evaluate that week by week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Moving on to Phil West. Phil, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, so I had 2 quick questions. Wanted to know first about the extended kind of road trip and what kind of things you might do to help help figure that out. And then also with San Jose, obviously they have a very distinct man marking style, not to look too far in advance, but what would you do to help try to pick that apart other than, ask Lima and Hosen what they think, since they've been on the team last year?
Yeah, I think I think certainly it's exciting to have an opponent for our home game as well. They are a unique team, San Jose, historically with under Almeida. So I'll certainly talk to Danny and Nick about the nuances, but we'll prepare for that as we come into the game. I won't give it too much thought right now, but having watched the league the last couple of years, it is a unique way of playing, and we'll have to be prepared to figure out how to deal with them offensively, but also what we want to do to them when we have the ball. So. We'll cross that bridge as it comes. Your other question, sorry, I got on that one.
Extended road trip.
Yeah, the road trip is what it is. I think we'll try to find time when we get out of market, if we're able to spend a day or two in some of these other cities when we do fly West Coast. Those are longer flights, but given the restrictions that have been in place, we'll typically try to get in and out of market rather quickly so we can get home. The road trips will get long. It will be an extended period of 2 months being on the road, but we'll see what possibilities there are when we're out and about on the road. But it's part of the deal. I think we all knew that coming into it, and again, I don't think we look at that as a negative. We find ways to make that a positive and come in and prepare and compete each week.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Moving on, Olaf, over to you.
Thank you. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm thinking. Just 2 questions. Could you tell us what are your goals for the team's first season? Your hopes or expectations?
I think the goals are we want to see progress. We want to see the way we play be identifiable. Obviously, we want to compete. We want to win games. A goal that we talk about is making the playoffs. I think that's something that most teams start with, and we're no different. We went out and built a team that we believe can come in and compete. We want to play a certain way. We have great leadership, great balance from youth and experience, domestic and international. And it won't come quickly and it won't come easily, but preparation is what gives players confidence, and our ability to do that and execute and get better and progress each week is what we're going to look at, and create our process and try to make progress each day, each week. And I think we'll be in good position if we can continue down that path throughout the year to be in a good spot at the end of the year. But certainly like most teams, we want to make the playoffs.
And second, after 2 years, have you imagined how this first game will be? You ever dream how this first game?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be exciting. It'll be nerve-wracking. I think it'll be a bit of all emotions. For me, it'll be my first game as a head coach, and it'll be a great experience. And no matter what happens on the day, we got 33 more games. So keeping that in mind, it's about getting prepared, going out, having a good plan, and make the adjustments that we need to make if need be. But first and foremost, it's an awesome opportunity to go to a nice place in LA and compete against a very good team and a very well-coached team. And our guys will be up for that, and I'm sure they'll be excited by the news today.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Thank you. Louis, over to you. Louis, you're on mute.
Okay, now I'm on mute. Hey, Coach.
Hello.
Wanted to ask you, what's some of the, outside of the W's, obviously, when you look at the extended road trip and the fact that you're an expansion club, what are some of the measuring sticks you have for determining how quickly this team maybe is coming together or not coming together?
Yeah, I think there's identifiable qualities in the way that we play. We certainly want to score goals. I think every team wants to win games, and in order to do that, you need to score goals. But I think for us, the way that we want to play, to be able to deal with pressure, to go on the road and play in difficult venues, can we find the right balance of how we deal with that pressure and trying to play through it, around it, over it, but also just rolling up your sleeves and competing. It's tough to go on the road. It's tough to go into some of these venues, and getting that mentality and that understanding is the first thing when you go on the road and coming to compete, and then you try to earn your way of playing. And right now we're trying to define and identify exactly what that looks like, so that when we go into some of these venues, whether they're hostile or happy or whatever they may be, our guys are ready and they have solutions and they're confident in what they're doing. And obviously success and wins help build confidence. But for me as a coach, it's identifying some of the things that we're working on right now and seeing them come out in the players and seeing them come out in the games. And hopefully that happens, and that will also give the players confidence. But there's not one thing. There's many things, and it's going to be like this the entire year. So we'll just try to, like I said, keep making progress each week.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
You bet. Thank you.
Chris Bills, back to you.
Yeah, obviously on the back end of that extended road trip that we've talked about is, you get a backloaded schedule of games at home, and you talked about, evaluating the roster and potential additions for the summer. I guess how important is that to know what you might need, and how are you guys how do you plan to sort of go about that process of thinking about where the team's at heading into that home stretch at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think the first thing is you evaluate how that first half of the season's gone, that first 15 games. I think the back half will be loaded with 19 games, as you mentioned. So, there's what we've talked about a little bit is obviously having the opportunity and the ability to bring in another DP, whether it's now or in the summer. And the first 15 games will give us a good gauge, first 10 games of where we're at, what some of our gaps are, if there are any, and to allow us if and what type of next DP is needed. But there's a lot of time in there for us to learn a lot about ourselves and certainly what we're going to try to do week in and week out. But I think we'll make that assessment as the year's going on, and we want to see progress. We obviously hope that our players stay healthy, so you also need to keep that in mind as far as what some of our needs could be later in the year if there is anything that comes up. But we got a good group, and we're happy with where we're starting, and we'll make the additions as needed.
Great. Thank you very much, Josh. Jim Vittuno, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Don't come home till June. Maybe gives you some space. One of the things with an expansion team is just the fact that, you know, the enthusiasm of the fan base around that first game. Are you hopeful that that calendar space will provide some time for things to loosen up and restrictions to loosen up, that you might be able to have a full house in here come June? You know, the Texas Rangers today said they were going to go 100% capacity for baseball season.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me to our wish and our wants are absolutely that we're able to have a full house. And if we get to that, great. If we don't get to that, I know we're still going to have a raucous crowd. I've seen these fans. I've seen the energy in this city. And, you know, that's exciting. And the first thing about a home game is obviously presenting the team in a good way and that we're up for it and we're ready to play. But, you know, there's also this fan experience of coming to the stadium and seeing what Q2 is all about. And then it's for us to perform and to execute on the field to bring that level of excitement and give these fans something to cheer about and be proud of. So, you know, the back half being loaded, hopefully we can take advantage of that. But we hope that in the first, you know, obviously spending most of the first part of the year on the road, there's points out there for us to get. And we need to take advantage of that as well so that we're not just relying on coming home and now making up lost ground. We obviously know it's going to be warm in Texas. We know we have a great stadium, and we're going to try to utilize that to the best of our advantage. And you know, hopefully we're in a good position at the end of the year and playing well in front of our fans at home.